Started feeling some shortness of breath that I just chalked up to being out of shape postpartum. I started having a dry cough. They had to do a CT with contrast, and that's obviously when they found a 9-centimeter mediastinal mass, so like size of a grapefruit, just sitting right here on my chest that actually was like wrapping around my aorta. So then I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm going to die right now. Like I have a tumor on my heart. What is happening? But that was like my initial reaction was like, my life is over. Like what, I have to start planning for my husband and my kids to be a widow. When I was diagnosed, I was 8 months postpartum. I had my second child in September of 2025. So she was 8 months old, and then we also had a 2-year-old. So I was in the trenches of 2 under 2, and I was on maternity leave from my previous nursing role. So I'm a nurse, actually got a job in a cancer center. Ironically, I am a nurse navigator in a high-risk breast clinic. Had started that job April 20th and was diagnosed with cancer on May 20th. So literally exactly a month later. It was basically when I had started my new job, my husband noticed that I had a bulging jugular vein right here that was not normal. Like it had never been like that. And it was like sticking out, and he noticed it and he was like, what is that? Like, why is it doing that? I was like, I have no idea. I didn't even notice it. I didn't really take him very seriously right away, which looking back, I was like, maybe I should have like actually done something about it. But hindsight's 2020, right? So, cause I was feeling fine. I wasn't having any like symptoms. I was like, oh, maybe it's just, I don't know. So that was the end of April. And then I'd say maybe a week or two after he had noticed it, I had like a vasovagal episode in the middle of the night. I woke up feeling really nauseous, felt like I was going to throw up. So I got up, tried to go to the bathroom, and I made it like halfway to the bathroom, and I like basically passed out. Like I fell to the ground and could not get up. I was still like conscious. And this was at like midnight. So my husband was sleeping, and I had like ringing in my ears, like blurry vision. I was like, this is not good. So then I was able to get up and go to the bathroom. And then within like a minute, I was fine. So I was like, that's weird. And then I came back to our bedroom, told him what happened. He's like, okay, you need to go to the doctor like now. Besides the bulging jugular vein, I did not, in that episode, I did not have any symptoms until about the beginning of May, probably is when started feeling some shortness of breath that I just chalked up to being out of shape postpartum, because like I was not working out. But it was kind of getting to the point where I was just like walking around my house and like I was like getting winded, and I was like, that's odd. But also, again, I'm out of shape. It's whatever. And then probably about a week prior, I started having a dry cough, and just like nursing school, you know, like that's not normal either. I didn't have a primary care provider at the time because the only medical history I had was having babies. So I was like, can't call my OB for this. So I got in with the first provider that had an appointment, got in with him. And I don't want to say that he didn't take me seriously, but there were like signs that he wasn't really taking me seriously. Basically, he was like, okay, like you're a 30-year-old healthy woman. Why are you here? So I told him about the jugular vein, and I told him about that episode that I had, and he wasn't that concerned, to be honest. He did consult with like vascular surgery about it, and they told me that it was just a bulging jugular vein and that it's normal. And I was like, this isn't normal. This is not normal. Obviously with my like healthcare background too, I was like, no, like we need to do something about it. Cause I was like, I'm having a lot of anxiety about this. And so basically because I was having anxiety, he was like, okay, we will do a CT with contrast. I'm like, okay, fine. Next day he called me. He's like, I changed my mind. I want to do an ultrasound because it's less invasive. So we got an ultrasound scheduled and went in. It was the same building I was working in. So I just walked over there, got the ultrasound on my neck, and the ultrasound tech, I knew something was wrong, but she couldn't tell me what it was because she did both my right and left side. And she was like, your right side looks great. Your left side, like something is wrong. She couldn't tell me what it was. I ended up having a DVT in my neck. So I had a blood clot. And then I got the notification on MyChart around 6:30 that my results were in. So I was like, okay, I'm obviously going to look. And it said DVT in 3 different veins. So like not just the jugular, it was like subclavian and then one other. I'm like, this isn't good. So my husband, I'm like, I'm going to take myself to the ER because I'm not waiting around for this. And then they had to get an IV in me and do a CT with contrast, and then did that. And that's obviously when they found a 9-centimeter mediastinal mass, so like size of a grapefruit, just sitting right here on my chest. And then that's when I spiraled. I was like, what the heck? Very isolating. Like my nurse wasn't in there, no family, no friends, nothing. And just kind of going back, I was like, oh, my results are in. Let's see if I have a PE, which I know is not good either. And so then when I read it and it said no evidence of PE, I was like, perfect. And then I kept scrolling to like my heart area. And then that's when it said 9-centimeter mass that actually was like wrapping around my aorta. So then I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm going to die right now. Like, I have a tumor on my heart. What is happening? So yeah, it was just very, very isolating, very traumatic, obviously. Basically, I was in the ER, got my results on MyChart, and saw that I had lymphoma. And my first immediate reaction was, I have cancer. I'm going to die. Like, that was it. Literally the first thing that popped into my head. And I was like, I'm never going to see my kids grow up. Like, I'm going to get emotional because it was just a crazy feeling. Just like seeing that you have cancer on MyChart without like having a provider tell you that is just like, I can't even describe the emotions I was feeling. So then the ER provider came in and he was like, like, obviously this is scary. And he is an emergency medicine provider, not an oncologist. So like, he probably doesn't see it often. He was amazing. He was like great bedside manner. So he really made me feel better about it, but he was amazing. He called actually my oncologist who I have now, who was on call. And they wanted me to come that night, but I was like, mentally I cannot, because one, I don't want to take an ambulance there. And two, I cannot drive myself right now. So, called my parents, I called my sister, my best friend, my mother-in-law, and my husband, obviously. And was like, hey, I probably have cancer. And obviously their response was like, what?
Just thinking about it is bringing me back, giving me a little bit of PTSD.
And at this point it was like 1 a.m. On a Tuesday/Wednesday morning. I had been in the ER for like 6 hours alone because my husband was with our children sleeping. Did I think I ever had cancer prior to reading the results on MyChart? Absolutely not. I was like, no, like that never once crossed my mind. So I felt relatively normal aside from a few weird things that were happening. But again, never chalked it up to being that I have cancer. My mother-in-law and my best friend drove up that Wednesday morning. I went home at like 2 a.m. I don't think I slept, honestly. And then me and my husband took our 2 kids to daycare early that morning. And then we were driving 2 hours to the hospital that I get my treatment at now. Yeah, they had an inpatient bed ready for me. He was basically there right away. It was around 10 a.m. And kind of when he was like, yes, it is lymphoma. We don't know what kind yet. And then he kind of told me, based on the symptoms I was having and the mass in my chest, that it was non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. That morning, I got a biopsy and a PET scan. Oh, I got a PICC line put in because they didn't want to do a port right away because of the size of the tumor. He didn't feel comfortable doing it for round 1. So I got the biopsy, the PET scan, and the PICC line all on the same day. So that was just like a whirlwind of like, what's going on? Like, this is real now. And so that was Wednesday. The biopsy results came back Friday, which was actually very quick. And it came back for primary mediastinal B-cell lymphoma. And then they had also, with the PET scan, found that I had the mass in my chest. And then I had 2 additional spots, one on my lung and one on my small bowel. They were each like 1 centimeter. So he wasn't too concerned, but I was diagnosed with stage 4 based on that. And it was just those 3 tumors, and then started chemo the next day on Saturday, May 23rd. So from Tuesday, May 19th to May 23rd, a span of 4 days, I got a cancer diagnosis and started chemo in less than a week. I travel 2 hours and 20 minutes every 3rd week for treatment. So with my chemo, I'm connected from Monday to Friday, 96 hours continuous. Which was also kind of a like, what? Like, I'm going to be connected to an IV pump for an entire week, getting continuous chemo, which is just like terrifying. But again, now that I've been in it a few times, it sucks, but I've gotten used to it, unfortunately. So I go home for 2 weeks, and then I come back every 3rd week, and I have 6 rounds scheduled, and now I'm currently in the middle of round 4. Honestly, I wasn't really thinking about myself. I was more so thinking about how the heck are we gonna do this with basically 2 under 2, and we live 5 hours from all of our family and friends. I mean, we have friends where we live now, but like, you don't want to ask for help. I don't know. It's a weird feeling. Obviously our friends and family have been great, but I think the biggest thing was how am I / how are my husband and I going to be able to take care of 2 kids while I'm undergoing treatment? But we got a system down. It works really well. My mother-in-law comes to our house every treatment week, helps my husband with the girls at home. And then my mom travels with me to treatment. So she's here with me now. She's been here every week of treatment. So the first 3 rounds, yeah, I did inpatient chemo. And then after that 3rd round, I talked to my oncologist and I was like, this mentally is not, I'm not doing well. And he had brought up outpatient in the beginning, but he knew I lived 2 hours away and he just didn't think it was feasible for me to drive back and forth every day, which makes sense. That's 4 hours of my day. So we worked out a system to stay in the area, do outpatient, and now I just go to the clinic every day and get my bag changed out. So I'll go there later this afternoon. But honestly, that was like one of the biggest like reliefs for me, the fact that I don't have to sit in a hospital anymore. I can do this now. So we're just staying at an Airbnb and he's like, you want to pay for one? And I'm like, yes, I do. I don't, as much as I love you guys here, like it's just mentally, I'm about to be a flight risk if you don't let me out of here. It just feels more at home. I have more freedom. I can go outside. My mom and I went shopping yesterday and it just felt normal. Like I don't feel like I'm a cancer patient, you know, like I have my port and everything in my little bag, but no one cares. So it just feels, I feel more normal not having to sit in a hospital bed. But again, I know that's not the same for everyone. So I have a lot of like guilt going through all this process too. Like, especially like seeing on social media, like people are not doing as well as I am. So I get a lot of like survivor's guilt almost that I'm tolerating treatment better than others. It's a weird feeling. So I'd say during treatment weeks, the constipation can get kind of bad just because of the chemo meds I'm on cause it. Luckily we got stool softeners on board, so we're good there. But I'd say the biggest thing is fatigue for those first 5 days. Like I'm taking 4-hour naps, which again, is hard when you have kids because I feel bad taking naps and leaving my husband to fight for his life with our kids. But he knows I need it. He knows I need the rest. And we have daycare too. So from the beginning, when I first met with my oncologist, that was literally like one of my first questions. I was like, am I going to lose my hair? And he said, yes. And I just like was bawling because I used to, probably still do, had really naturally curly hair. So I had a lot of hair. And again, back to the guilty thing of it. Like I never really liked my hair my entire life. And now I'm like, holy shit, I'm going to lose it all. I'm having like, I feel guilty. I'm like, why did I never appreciate my hair? And now I'm going to lose it. So it was just like lots of emotions and everyone tells you it's going to grow back. I know it's going to grow back, but it's going to be a damn process. Like I'm going to look so much different.
So my hair is officially falling out. The amount of hair that just fell out in the shower is actually like traumatizing.
I think it was day 15 of after round 1, it started coming out in clumps in the shower. And I'm like, I'm not doing this to myself. Hell no, I'm not gonna just keep having these clumps of hair come out in the shower. Traumatizing. So 2 days later after that, I told my husband, I'm like, we're shaving it tonight. And I recorded it. Our 2 girls were with us. So they saw it all. Again, I don't know if they're going to remember it, but we have a video if they ever want to watch it. And I think that's, again, like posting it on social media. People are like, I would never think to like do that. I would never be that brave to do it. And part of me is like, I wasn't really thinking about being brave in the moment. I was like, I'm going to record this because one, I want to look back on it in 5 years, 10 years when I'm in remission, you know, and like think back to like that time of my life. But also put it on the internet for people that are going through the same thing, because with the type of chemo we're on, like it's inevitable to lose your hair. And I don't think people realize that right away. So I think just showing them that, yeah, it sucks. But honestly, being bald is not that bad. Showers are really quick. I don't have to do my hair anymore. I don't have to spend money on hair products, especially as a curly girl. Like I was spending buttloads of money on products. Like I don't have to do that anymore. And I haven't even bought a wig yet. I just wear these because it feels weird. My daughter knows I don't have any hair. She reminds me every day. She's like, Mama, hair gone? Yep, still gone. It's just so funny because it's just so humbling and it's cute. Having cancer, it's like, I can't control getting cancer and now I have it. And so I'm just going to do what I have to do to get over it. You know, I can't, like, why am I going to sit here and I don't want to use the words feel bad for myself, because that's not what I mean, but like, I'm not going to sit and feel miserable and feel horrible and just feel sorry for myself when I could just be making the most of this shitty experience, basically. And because I don't have any control. If I sit here and do nothing, like my cancer is not going to go away. So I need to do what I need to do to get rid of it. And just having a positive mindset is kind of what everyone has been telling me that they're so inspired by, but it's like, I don't want to have any other choice, basically. I'd say I've learned that I am definitely stronger than I ever thought I would be. You don't think you're ever going to get cancer in your lifetime. Like again, like being on social media, like you see it all over and it's like, that is never going to be my life. And then it happens to you and you're like, what the heck? So I have learned, yes, I am a lot stronger than I ever mentally thought I would be. Let's talk headscarves. So when I shaved my head, I impulsively ordered a bunch of headscarves because I don't know if I can commit to a wig this summer. Also, I had really curly hair, and curly haired wigs are really, really hard to find. I got my mid-treatment PET scan. So did 3 full rounds, got my PET scan on Monday, and he showed me my scan and everything's gone. Everything's gone. I have a little bit of scar tissue in my chest, but essentially in remission right now. And hopefully I can say that in 2 more months once treatment's over. So I'll still finish 6 rounds, but it still doesn't feel real, one. And again, I'm still just having those like guilty feelings. Like, I mean, I made a video saying I'm in remission, but it's like, I'm still a cancer patient, you know, even though I'm, you know, I don't know. It's just it's a weird feeling. Like, obviously I'm celebrating it, but there's that thought in the back of my mind, like, what if it comes back? Then what do we do? And my oncologist like, don't worry about that. But like being able to see it on a scan and like comparing it to my first scan and physically seeing it's okay, it is gone. It really is gone. Now it still needs to be gone in September. So I think that's something I probably will struggle with for probably the next year, 2, 3, 4, like forever, probably, honestly. I'd say in the beginning, the unknown is the scariest part, but you will get through it. It's not going to be easy, but you can do hard things and you will get through it, is kind of the biggest takeaway I have from all of this. And the things that you cannot control, don't worry about. If it's not under your control, don't worry about it. And I still have a hard time like believing that too. It's like with my scans and my labs, it's like you can't control it, so don't worry about it. So and it's easier said than done, obviously, but just know that you can do hard things and you will get through it.